All right, all right. Picture a sunrise over a sea of tie-dye and hand-painted vans. I'm weaving through the lot, cold can of and a koozie in my hand, and that special kind of grin you just can't shake. A kid with a cardboard side that just says miracle lifts one hopeful finger, and a gray-bearded stranger approaches him, hands him a ticket and a hug, and melts back into that human river like he just tipped the cosmos. Then it hits me. This isn't just a band, it's a traveling kindness engine with drums and space for a soul. Welcome, welcome to Fandom Friday, my groovy family.
This is Kindness Rising.
Welcome, welcome everyone into the Fox's Den. This is Kindness Rising, your morning dose of hope, humanity, humor, and heart. And every Friday, we travel into a universe people obsess over. A band, a show, a movie, a game, and we find the human good inside the hype. It's fun, it's interactive, occasionally weird, but always kind. We'll jam through our regular segments, take you into the live chat, and maybe even crown our kindness MVP before the credit rolls. And today, we are talking about my own favorite personal obsession, the Grateful Dead. Hey, listen, I get it. The Dead might not be for everyone, and there are a lot of misconceptions about this band. But as Jerry Garcia said, the Grateful Dead are like licorice. Not everybody likes licorice, but those that like it really like it. That's what true fandom is all about. So drop your Deadhead stories in the chat. Miracles, carpools, patch tires, stage shows, and the moments that lit your heart on fire. Gonna jump right into the comments early today, checking in to see who's out there. I appreciate everyone who's coming out to see the show. Lady Drew, you're always here. Happy weekend and blessed be. I don't know if you're a Deadhead, but I appreciate that you're out here every day. Good morning, Be Driven. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everybody, get out in that chat. Talk about the kind things that are going on. If you have a Grateful Dead kind story, tell it. Tell it today. If you're out there and you know me, tell a Grateful Dead story about me. That's fine. We'll get after it. I remember when I found the Dead, it was my junior year of high school. I was in the midst of a major social change. I spent a lot of time in a local record shop called Music City, the original downtown location for my Binghamton friends out there of a certain age who might understand that local historical significance. But listen, it was a dusty, patchouli-scented, tie-dye decorated shop where I added the albums American Beauty and Skull and Roses Live to my collection. That music carried me through a good chunk of the latter part of high school, and it helped me understand the idea of individuality. And somehow, when I listened to those CDs, I knew everything was going to be just all right. Jump ahead to my freshman year at Ithaca College. I hope some of my Ithaca friends are out there and gonna jump in the comments. First day, I walk into my dorm room. I meet this dude from Chicago. I never met a guy like him before. He was going to be my roommate. And sitting on his stereo is the CD cover for the Double Live Jerry Garcia band album that would become my deeper entree into the Dead. He and I started digging into the music together. We found people with cassette recordings and show experiences to talk to. And it was from that time that I was hooked into this world. 35 years on, and I still never tire. I have drifted away for short periods of time, but always come back because of the strength that I find in that music. Welcome, Bev Ellis. I'm glad you're here. Pocket surprise. Didn't I see you in the Rainbow Squad? No, I wasn't in the Rainbow Squad. Dankin' Nation. Yep, welcome. What's shaking, Nation? I appreciate you coming out and checking out my story today about the Grateful Dead. For me, being a Deadhead has always centered on two principles, and both are chronicled in Robert Hunter's lyrics from Franklin's Tower. If you get confused, you listen to the music play. There's not enough time for me to tell you guys all the times that the Grateful Dead have influenced me. Every key moment of my adult life is marked by the Dead. Every moment, every mood, every era is imprinted with the lyrics of Hunter, Weir, Barlow, all the milestones from my deepest depressions to my greatest triumphs. That six-headed monster has been there to help me connect, to feel, and be a part of their world. I'll get into some of those stories perhaps as the show carries on, because I show up here every day, 7:30 a.m., Kindest Rising. We're here to help you get up with hope, humanity, humor, and heart. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. The second thing from Franklin's Tower, that second line, it's actually written, if you're on the horizontal, it's written right on the lamp behind me. A great story behind that lamp about a snowstorm in DC, and my buddy Brian Pizer, who had his girlfriend, a girl that he was hanging out with us, and she painted that lamp, and I have carried it with me since 1995. If you plant ice, you're going to harvest wind. This reminds me that just as the wind sweeps across ice and creates physical destruction, misery, hatred, and negativity will destroy your soul if you plant it in your heart. This is where thy interest and strength of kindness comes from, that one line. If you plant ice, you're going to harvest wind, knowing that only love, acceptance, and giving of myself are the key to inner peace and contributing to a life of meaning. Those are the basis of Kindest Rising me and leave me with nothing left to do but smile, smile, smile.
Dude, did you catch the show Kindness Rising on YouTube?
Man, that Rouff guy is totally vibing with the kindness scene.
There is a reason so many Deadhead kindness stories start in the parking lot. In this tribe, you're presumed family until proven otherwise. You borrow a wrench and get a smile. You need a ride and someone else is already clearing the seat. The presumption of care flows right into the music. The Dead famously welcome tapers into their own section, inviting fans to record, trade, and curate a living archive together. That open-handed stance, share it, keep it alive, turned listeners into librarians and strangers into neighbors. Dan Healy and crew, they literally engineered community. That's what we do on Kindest Rising. That's what we do in the Mornings in the Lab Network, and Keith over on Mornings in the Lab. We engineer our communities, and they did that with sound patches and a tapers section to help seed one of the world's the greatest participatory archive. The lesson for the rest of us: when you design for generosity, you don't just build an audience, you build a family. All right, here's what I want you guys to do today. You're out in the comments. I appreciate everyone that's showing up. Hey, Medi, you know what, buddy? I'm glad you're here. Thanks for showing up, regardless of what you have to say in the comments. Roseanne Rouff, love and forgiveness. That's what life is all about. Good morning, all. The Grateful Dead talked about those concepts too. Thanks, Mom. I appreciate you being out there. So here's my challenge to you guys today throughout the show. Stay with the comments. Write a little something about I saw kindness when. It could be a Grateful Dead. It could be a Grateful Dead story. It could be another band. Whatever story you've got, tell me when you saw kindness. Was it in the parking lot, during one of my streaming shows? Whatever it is, tell a quick story. We're going to feature it in this week's recap, or today's recap, and we are going to crown the kindness MVP at the end of today's show. I got a question for the comments. Can you hear the music? I don't know if you can. I can't hear it. It shows it's playing, but I can't hear it. That's what we do on Kindest Rising. We help each other out. Just let me know if you can hear that music and if it's working all right for you. started building some AI programs, some AI little features. We've got our buddies Cal and Stan. They are going to help us through every show. Here's a little ditty. Whoops, that's not Cal and Stan. Stuff happens. That's Cal and Stan. Welcome, Cal and Stan.
Stan, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Calder, but if the cows are enlightened, where will we get our burritos?
Let's talk and roll right into our kindness spotlight. Just right. We can hear you good too. Thanks, Be Driven. You're always there. You're like our little audience-based producer that helps us. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming out every day. Stay buzzy, my friend. Stay buzzy. All right, all right. Today's spotlight. We always talk about some organizations. Mike Sullivan, welcome on board from out in San Francisco. Today's spotlight is a triptych. 3 ways the spirit of the Grateful Dead can echo far beyond the stage. The first one, when the band pointed the spotlight outward in September of 1988, band members stood at the United Nations to support global rainforest protection, and they played an awesome show at the Madison Square Garden Rainforest Benefit in New York City. A cross-genre lineup helping mainstream the idea that a rock show could eliminate climate action. A year later, the Dead anchored In Concert Against AIDS at the Oakland Coliseum. This was a day-long Bay Area benefit that mixed music and public health messaging. The show is remembered for the cause, but also for the joyous citizens. There were joyous citizens there, but I'm talking about sit-ins and collaborations that turned a stadium into a community. And lastly, in 1992, moved by the story of the newly independent Lithuania's cash-strapped national team, the Dead, they chipped in to help them get to the Olympics. You probably have even seen the merch that has continued for 30 plus years that helped that Lithuanian team get them to the Olympics. A legendary tie-dye basketball moment that shouted in stereo that culture can carry people across finish lines. Let's talk about fans doing good, online and off. The kindness doesn't clock out when the amps go dark. These are some Deadhead stories. A fan-built book project born on Facebook that turns crowdsourced memories into real-world support, directing proceeds to nonprofits like the Rex Foundation, SIVA, and the Jerry Garcia Foundation. This group of stories are great. Check them out. They're called Deadhead Stories. Elsewhere, a small fan group organized micro fundraisers in the band's orbit. A private Deadhead Facebook community that pooled donations to guerrilla doctors in honor of Oteil Burbridge. Oteil's the bassist for the current Dead and Company outfit. He took over where Phil Lesh left off. We all miss Phil and all his great antics. He was super kind. Oteil is super kind, and our community is super kind. Organization like the Grateful Guitars Foundation, started by Deadheads. They put pro-level instruments in working players' hands and keep music education alive. Sometimes even loaning faithful recreations of Jerry's classic guitars. You guys have probably seen them and know them. You might not even know, because the Grateful Dead are so embedded into our culture. But I bet you've seen some of those guitars with Bertha and Tiger and Alligator on them. They inspiring the next generation of musicians. That's the Grateful Guitars Foundation. Last, I want to talk about the big one. I talked about it a little earlier. I mentioned it earlier. It's called the Rex Foundation, Kindest Incorporated. In 1983, the band and friends created the Rex Foundation to transform spontaneous generosity into sustained impact. 4 decades later, Rex has crossed $10 million in grants across 1,400 awards. They support grassroots efforts on the environment, education, arts, social justice, and indigenous rights. Rex's ethos mirrors the show, our show right here. Small acts woven into one big rolling wave with a simple message. The music made a scene, and the scene built a safety net. That's today's Kindness Spotlight. Come on, guys. Get in there.
Stan, are you picking up on the vibe here?
I think so, Calder, but if the lot burrito's bigger than the bus, how do we eat it?
Yeah, boy. Cal and Stan, those silly two guys that are out there at shows rolling into a little bit of humor. All right, let's move on. Here's the thing. The Grateful Dead, they didn't just play long songs. They built long relationships. The tapers section, the trading culture, the allowance for community commerce on Shakedown Street. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a show, but there's a place called Shakedown Street that is one of the most memorable avenues you've ever been down. It's just lined with people selling merchandise, putting out good vibes, good tunes. Yeah, there's smell of skunks in the air and other little additions to the scene, but these were brand choices by the Grateful Dead that trusted the tribe to circulate their product, because the product wasn't necessarily only the music. I love the music, but it wasn't the music. It was about connection. 2,000 shows later, a living archive, a culture that still funds good work decades later. If you create real participation, you won't need to manufacture loyalty. That's what we're trying to do here on Kindest Rising. Not trying, we are doing it. Great times here at Kindest Rising as a community. It's not a touch of gray silver lining. It's the whole freaking rainbow. Be driven. Shakedown Street is a head shop in Grand Rapids. I'm sure there are more than one head shop out there that have been inspired by the Grateful Dead. Appreciate it. Mike Sullivan, you're throwing out there the Grateful Dead rightfully left Altamont and didn't perform when it started to get unkind. Yes, one of the biggest moments in music history, let alone Grateful Dead history, was the tragedies at Altamont. Unfortunately, things got out of hand there and somebody lost their lives, and the Grateful Dead did not participate and work in that kind of world. That's the kind of things that they did. Absolutely. If you guys don't know the Altamont story, I suggest you get out there and learn about it. All right. We're going to move on now. I appreciate everybody that's out there in the world listening to my Grateful Dead story today. All right. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the Kindness Bridge. We're building a network right here. It's the Mornings in the Lab network. It starts 7:30 a.m. every morning right here inside the Fox Den with me, Matthew Rouff, the uncommon kindness guy. 7:30 to 8 a.m. from 8 to 10. You got to get over to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. That's where they continue the conversation and get even deeper into this stuff. Today on Mornings in the Lab, Keith and John and buddies, I'll be over there too for a little bit. We're going to talk about the craft of conversation, because the Deadhead way of talking is its own social technology. The lot, the place where people go to hang out before the show, after the show, that's a masterclass in inquiry with empathy. You headed in, you need a ride, you good on water? Hey, what show got you on the bus? These aren't just small talk, they're small bridges. Great questions do three things. They invite a story, they grant dignity, and they reveal common ground. So here's a little pocket framework for your day. Ask open-ended lead questions. Tell me about your first show. Give a little micro hypothesis. I'm guessing the drum break got you. Was it Samson and Delilah or Help Slip Franklin's? And give a generous follow-up. What made that moment feel kind to you? When in doubt, trade conclusions for curiosity. Ask like a deadhead. Assume kinship and tune in your listening like it's eyes of the world.
These guys play every night like it's the first time.
Kind of like Kindest Rising, he shows up every weekday morning, fresh and ready. He never misses a show.
They're real, every note, straight from the heart.
That's Kindest Rising. Real people, real energy, real talk.
Miss note, broken string, they just keep rolling.
Yep. Like Kindness Rising, it's about showing up, not being perfect.
Feels good being part of something real.
Music, kindness, worth showing up for.
And kindness are worth showing up for. We show up every day here on the Mornings in the Lab network, Kindest Rising and Mornings in the Lab, and we like to talk about our EAT philosophy, our EAT program. That stands for experience, expertise, authenticity, trust, and entertainment. And the Grateful Dead were all about EAT too. Let's talk about experience. Grateful Dead shows are rituals with a beginning, a journey, and a return. Online, you can design the same arc. Think of your feed as a shakedown, as not a shakedown, but as shakedown. Color, generosity, discover. Keep your tapers section open, summarize your process, publish behind the scenes, and let people take ideas home and trade them. That's what we do on Kindness Rising. That's what we do on Mornings in the Lab. This afternoon, Keith and I are going online behind the paywall of Mornings in the Lab to teach and show you the way we get things done, because when we give away the how, we build the who. Expertise, beyond the myth, the crew were nerds, man. Big time tech nerds. Owsley's Wall of Sound, Healy's sound patches, the Dead pushed live sound innovation. Share your teachable riffs. If you are great at dog training, offer your 2-minute heel hack. If you're a baker, publish your hydration myth. Expertise is kindness because it saves other people time. Let's talk about authenticity. I don't think anyone was more authentic than the Dead. They didn't cosplay. They still don't cosplay. They evolved in public, night after night, era after era. Now it's your move. Narrate your pivots. Say, we're trying something new. Show a messy sketch before a polished post. Authenticity is not oversharing. It's honest context. Trust. The band Grateful Dead codified trust. Clear taping rules, clear symbols, clear stewardship. Your version? Set the community rules you actually enforce. Be explicit about what you do and do not monetize and what you do with the funds that you're monetizing. When in doubt, over-communicate, deliver exactly what you promise. That's how you get from a deal to let it grow. Lastly, we're talking about entertainment. Don't sleep on delight. Get out there, have some fun. I'm having fun every day. I can't believe we're 7 weeks into this Kindness Rising things. We're not going anywhere. Mornings in the Lab's not going anywhere. The Grateful Dead, they had inside jokes. They had left turns, right turns, surprise segues, surprise guests. Your version of that, add a recurring bit, a question you always ask, a segment that you always land, a micro game your audience knows to expect. We come for insight and we stay for the smiles.
Stan, are you picking up on the vibe here?
I think so, Calder, but if the lot burrito's bigger than the bus, how do we eat it?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Are you new to the Dead? I can't believe the time is flying like it is. Let's jump back in the comments real quick and see what we got. But are you new to the Dead? I'm going to give you some ways to get connected to them. Be driven. You're still out there. Double tap that screen and show me some kindness. Thank you. Yes. Double tap it. Subscribe to the channel. I come out here every day, 7:30 a.m., bringing you good vibes and kindness. We're just growing and growing and growing. I appreciate the audience out there. For my friends who might be new to the Dead, you might have misconceptions. I want you to start with the music, though. The music is what the Grateful Dead are all about. It's how I got hooked. Here's what I suggest you do. The Grateful Dead, they famously called themselves the world's greatest cover band. Johnny Be Good, Me and Bobby McGee, Not Fade Away. These are songs you probably know. Get out there and listen to the Dead's version. Then I want you to shift to a late 80s live video. One I really like is called Crimson, White, and Indigo. It's live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, July 7th, 1989. And you'll hear that joyful roar and why I was connected to the Grateful Dead. Last, I want you to drop the needle on arguably the greatest show in Dead history. It happened right up the road from me in Ithaca, New York, at Cornell University, 5/8/77, a date that lives in Grateful Dead infamy, May 8th, 1977, Barton Hall, Cornell University. Check it out. An amazing show from first note to the last. And here's another little way. If you're not into the Grateful Dead, that's okay. I suggest you give it a try, but if you don't, you can still live the Dead experience because they were all about kindness. Offer someone else a small miracle today. Buy coffee for the person behind you. Drop a DM into somebody they haven't talked to in a while and just let them know you appreciate them. Give a ride to a neighbor. Whatever you can do to spread kindness, because that's how lot vibes become life vibes. Thank you for joining me here on Kindest Rising inside the Fox's Den. Get over to Mornings in the Lab when you're done. When we're done here, Keith, John, and friends are going to carry the story forward. Let's have some fun. It's a Friday. We're going out over there for the Free for All Friday, welcoming people into the comments. We're going to open up the live chat too for the phone calls. Get over there. Listen, don't forget to subscribe to the channels. I'm at Kindest Rising. Keith at Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. They offer a paywall opportunity. Amazing stuff happening behind the paywall. We're not just here to entertain. It's one of our key principles, but education and information are also the other principles that we want to provide and where you'll get the most value. It's not real expensive. Drop a few bucks into the shows. They will help because those dollars, they're not going to line our pockets. They're going to continue to build content for you all so that we can keep coming. We're coming anyway. We're showing up every day, Monday through Friday, maybe even into the weekend sometime. But that is what we do. We eat every day. Experience, expertise, authenticity, trust, and entertainment. And we will continue it for you. We're here for you. We're building a community. Let's continue to make it happen. As promised, I said I would crown a kindness MVP. I got to give co-MVPs to the two OGs. Mike Sullivan, I appreciate that you're out there. I appreciate all the other people who've dropped in, but it's got to be all about Bernard and Lady Drew. Be driven. Thank you for showing up, always participating. We appreciate you. Stay buzzy. And my buddy, Lady Drew, from down in North Carolina, even in the midst of a hurricane, Lady Drew is showing up and getting involved in the comments. Hey, chicks and dudes, you're in the house of kindness. I love that. You like my lamp, Lady Drew? I appreciate you. I love that it's a hand-painted lamp. I love that that lamp came from my grandmother's house, so it's got a little bit of family history for me, too. That's huge. Keep coming out. Lady Drew and Be Driven are co-kindness MVPs for the day. And that's the show. We're not just telling stories of kindness. We're practicing it together. This is Fandom Friday. Come back Monday through Friday. Join us on Friday for the next week's fandom. If you've got a fandom you want me to talk about, I'll be glad to do it. I grew up obsessed with a bunch of different fandoms, and I'm going to be talking about them. Be the miracle for someone today. On the lot, in the chat, at work, at home. Keep on trucking, and we'll see you on the rail. Stay uncommon and stay kind.